Okay. All right. So, because I'm going to need all that space. That's why I made it bigger. Because I need the space. All right. So, the formula that we use, the quadratic formula, I'm going to see if I can write it up here, is x is equal to a negative b. It's going to be plus or minus. You're going to do this formula twice because remember when you have zeros, when you're finding zeros, the parabola could cross in two different places. So this formula you're going to use twice to figure out where it's crossing or if it crosses in two places or one. You'll be able to tell by the answer that you get. All right, square root b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. This is the formula, the quadratic formula. So we got, again, a negative b plus or minus. The first time you're going to say plus. The second time you're going to do minus. B squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. That's the quadratic formula. All right, so you're going to do the quadratic formula twice for these. First time you're going to do plus. The second time you're going to do minus. So I'm going to rewrite the formula. I have x is equal to, I have negative b. We're going to do plus the square root b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. And all I'm doing here is substituting and using order of operations to figure out where does it cross the x-axis. So I'm finding my zeros, my roots, my x-intercepts. Am I missing the term? Zeros, roots, x-intercepts. Okay. All right, so let's figure out what they are. First things first, I need to label my A, my B, and my C. So my A here is what? 1. What's my B?
-5.
-5. And what's my C?
-14.
-14. Questions about how to find A, B, C. So now I'm going to use, do you understand that? The number that's in front of this x squared term is A. That's 1. The number that's in front of just the x term is B. That's -5. And the number that has no variable attached to it is C. Are you good with that?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so now we have a negative. We're going to replace B with -5. So in parentheses here, I got -5 plus square root. I'm going to replace B again with -5. So that's -5 squared minus 4. A is 1 and C is what? -14. All of this divided by what number?
2
times
1.
times 1. Any questions about that? All I did was substitute. Anybody lost? Okay, so now I'm going to use my calculator. Use order of operations, but I'm going to use my calculator now. And I'm going to do, I put B, but I didn't put the number. Forgive me, Father. I'm tripping on that one. All right, so here we go. We're going to type this in and see what we get. Let me clear my calculator. 2nd plus 7, 1, 2. All right, so I have a negative. Minus a negative is the same as what?
Adding
A positive. So this is minus a negative is the same as plus a positive. So I have 5 plus, and now look, square root. You see it? Okay.
Wait.
What?
Oh, it's second. Oh, okay, I got it.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Second and then x squared.
Got it. Do you see it? All right. So now I have parentheses -5. So parentheses -5 close parentheses, and what I'm going to do with that, square it. Anybody lost? Then I have minus 4, and then what I have times what? Hello? 1.
And then 14.
Times what? No, what kind of 14?
Negative 14.
Negative 14. And the last thing I want to do is close. You see this parentheses right here? It's all under the square root, so close the parentheses. Please make sure that you typed it in how I typed it in. Any questions about how I typed that in? Does anybody need to see that part again? All right, so now I press enter here. What do I get? I get 14. So it's going to be 14 on the top. What is it going to be on the bottom? 2. And so this gives me what? This gives me 7. So this is x here is 7, or we could say 7 comma what number? 0. Okay? Yes.
How do you make the square root and stuff?
I close the parentheses at the end. Yes.
Can I go to the bathroom?
What's this? 5th period? No. All right, let's do the next one. You ready? All right, rewrite the formula. This time we're using the minus one. We did plus first, it's minus second. This is x is equal to negative b minus this time square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by what?
2a.
2a. So now we're going to substitute. Do it all over again. All right. So this is give me x is equal to, I have, again, I have negative, parentheses, negative 5, right? Minus, this time, under the square root, I have a negative 5 squared minus 4 times 1 times a negative 14. Divided by what?
2.
Divided by
Negative
2
5?
times. Tell me, what did you say?
Oh, not 1.
1. Do you understand that?
Wait, which one are you looking at? Which?
The same one. It's just.
Oh.
Do you see how it's the same thing?
Yeah.
This is plus, this is minus.
Oh, okay.
That's the only difference. Okay. All right, so now let's do it again. You ready? Let's type this in. Okay, so first things first. This right here, minus a negative is the same as saying plus a positive. Any questions about that?
No.
So we got 5. Then we got minus. We open up the square root. Oops, sorry, y'all. And then in parentheses, we have to put the negative 5. That's important. If it's a negative, I need to put that in parentheses because it's not going to square if I don't put it in parentheses. It's only going to square the 5 and not the negative. So that parentheses is important. Then squared minus 4 times 1. The only reason why I'm not using parentheses here is because I don't want to confuse you by using too many parentheses. Okay? So I'm just going to put multiplication. Then times again, negative 14. Okay, so now I'm going to close it. All of that is under this radical sign. And what do I get there as my answer? Negative 4. So we got negative 4 divided by what number? 2. And so what does that give us? Negative 2. Or what's the other? Negative 2, comma 0. Yes, I think that's what you said. I don't know. Any questions about this? All right, so let's do number 2. Anybody still copying before I move on? You are? I'll pause. Please let me know when you finish. All right, so let's do this one. We do it twice again. I'm going to do plus first and then minus. Okay, so I rewrite the formula. I have x is equal to, we have a negative b. We're doing plus square root of b squared minus 4ac. Okay, divided by 2a. All right, so we're going to substitute. We have to label our a, our b, and our c. What's our a here?
1.
What's our b?
-4.
And what's our c?
4.
C is 4. So now let's substitute these values in. We have x is equal to, we have a negative, what's our b? -4 plus square root, right? -4 squared minus 4 times what? Times 1. Good job, babe. Times what? 4. Excellent. Divided by 2 times what? 1. Any questions about how I substituted? So now we're going to type this in, see what we get. I'm going to slide this over so you can see it. We'll clear this out. So minus a negative is the same as saying what?
Positive.
Plus a positive. Very good. So we got 4 plus, let's do square root again. And here we got a -4. So let's put that in parentheses. -4. And we're squaring the -4. Minus 4 times 1 times 4. And what's last? What's last? The parentheses. Close the parentheses. And what do you get? 4. So we got x here is equal to 4 over what? 2, which is equal to what? 2. So it crosses at 2 on the x-axis, or what's the ordered pair?
2, 0.
2, 0. Any questions about that? You okay?
Yeah.
All right. So now let's do where it's minus here instead of plus. So x is equal to negative b, this time minus, right? The square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by what?
2a.
2a. Okay. So let's substitute. We're substituting the numbers all over again. The only thing that's changing is this minus. So this is x is equal to, we have a negative times a -4 plus, minus this time. Sorry, y'all. Minus the square root, and we got the same thing. This is -4 squared minus 4 times 1 times 4 divided by 2 times 1. So we're doing the same thing again. The only thing we're changing is this minus sign here. All right? So let's type that. You okay?
Yeah.
So minus a negative is the same as saying what?
Positive.
Plus a positive. Okay. So we're going to type in 4. It's positive 4. Minus, it could be. Square root. And in parentheses, we got -4. And we're squaring that. Minus 4 times 1 times 4, right? And last thing, close the parentheses. And what does that give you?
4.
That gives you 4 also. Okay. So this is going to give you 4 over 2, right? Which is equal to what?
2.
2. So guess what? It only crosses the x-axis one time. This is a double root. It's only crossing it one time. Any questions about that? That's how I know it's crossing it only once,
Okay.
because you get the same answer twice.
That makes sense.
Okay. Any questions? All right. Now, if it doesn't simplify at all, guess what? If it doesn't simplify at all, that means it doesn't cross at all. Okay. All right. See if you can do this one on your own. I'm going to walk you step by step. Let's label our A, our B, and our C first. What's the A?
2.
B?
2.
C?
-12.
Okay, so now we're going to write the formula. We're going to do plus first and then the minus. All right, substitute. Let's do this one. Substitute those values in, see what you get. Come on, Sammy, substitute, baby. You okay? Poor fella. Now we're going to use our calculator to type it in and see what you get. All right, let's see what we get. Okay, so let's substitute. We got x is equal to, negative is a part of the formula. What's our b here? 2. So we just replace it with 2. Plus square root. B again is 2, so we have 2 squared. Minus 4. What's a here? Times what? Times 2. Put the dot for 2. Times what's our c? And I'm gonna put -12. Okay. And then divided by what?
2 times 2.
2 times 2. Very good. Okay. So let's see what we get. All right. So I'm gonna clear this. Okay. And I'm going to put a -2, right? We got plus. We got the square root. Then we have 2 squared minus 4 times 2 times a -12. And lastly, after I type all of this in, what do I do?
Parentheses.
I close the parentheses there. Okay. What do I get from that?
12.
I get 8. Did y'all get 8? Or did y'all get? Yeah, 8. Very good. So we put 8 here. And what do we put on the bottom? 4. So our x value is going to be what here? It's 2. So where does it cross the x-axis at what? 2, 0. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing over here. Let's substitute. I'm going to give you time to do that. See if you can do it on your own. Okay, so let's look. Do you see this is x is equal to negative? Your b is 2. Do you see how the b is 2? So we put 2 here. Minus square root. B again is 2. So this is 2 squared is a part of the formula. Minus part of the formula. 4 is a part of the formula. A, do you see how that's the first term, the x squared term? A is 2, so this is times 2. And then C is negative 12, so this is times negative 12. Do you see how I did that? On the bottom, I'm going to divide all of this by 2 times whatever A is. Here, A is 2. Does that make sense? So now I'm going to use my calculator to simplify. All right, super important because, this is a lot of order of operations, could save you a lot of trouble, okay? So you type in, you got negative 2 minus, make sure you use minus, square root, that's second x squared. Are you okay? Okay. All right, then you have 2 squared is right here. You see where squared is? Minus 4. Then you got times 2 times a negative 12. Are you okay with that? Close the parentheses because all of this goes under the radical. Do you see that? And now press enter. And that gives you negative 12. Does that make sense? So you got negative 12 on the top. And on the bottom, 2 times 2 is 4. Are you okay with that? So when you simplify this is going to give you a negative what? 3. So where does it cross? Your x is negative 3 and your y is 0. So it crosses at negative 3 and 0. These are the 2 places that it crossed. Do you see that? Do you understand that? Okay. Anybody? How are we feeling about that so far? Pretty decent? Okay. All right. I want to give you time to finish your test, so please work on your test. If you're finished with your test, I need you to work out the other 4 problems. Okay? Questions, comments, or concerns? Please don't paste this down because I am going to give you a couple problems to do on the back. So don't glue this down yet. Just put this in your folder until we finish. Any questions? At this time, I need you to work on your test if you're not finished with your test. Yes, baby. Friday's test. It's still on our page. I didn't change it. Yes, before. What? Girl, Lord help me. You know I didn't sign no work over no spring break.
That's why I was so confused.
No. Absolutely not. I would never do that. I don't even assign work on Friday. I don't even like Friday homework. Shh, come on. If you have Friday homework, it's because you didn't do your work during the week. But everybody needs a break. So no, I would not give you homework on Friday. All right, we need to be working on our test. What that means, folks, is that we're not talking. That you're either working on this, finishing 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, or you're working on your test. Okay? The test before the spring break. That's it. That's all. Can you put them in that bag? Do you see the bag? Okay. Can you leave the bag sitting there? Guys, if you have those scissors, if you would, please put them back in the bag that's on the table, okay? Yes, if you don't mind. I appreciate that.